feel. It is anniversary sweaters and hoodies. We're going to be putting some anniversary. Oh, this is a nice one. I should have looked at this before I actually started talking. But essentially, what we have here are sweaters, hoodless sweaters that have pockets as if they're hoodies. And I wish I could get my hand. There we go. There we go. There we go. So today, doing an order, anniversary style hoodies, but these hoodies are a little bit different. Okay, see this looks like a sweater, right? There's no hood, and it has a hoodie pocket though. But yeah, no. Some friends of mine reached out to me and were like, "Hey, our anniversary is coming up. Um, can we get the anniversary in Roman numerals on the chest, and then on the left sleeve we want our names and we want our initial and a heart of our significant other." So this is what one looks like, and then we have a darker one that actually has the hood. So this one's got the hood and the hoodie pocket. Same deal. Roman numeral, left chest, left arm, opposite partner's initial, and a heart on the sleeve. All right, that's a popular design it seems because I did this before and they liked it. So they're like, hey, we want the same thing. Uh, these hoodies are great, so we're gonna be putting it in white, and yeah, we're gonna get started with this. All right, so these are relatively small designs. So, and this is a little bit more advanced today. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to actually be breaking the seam of the arm sleeve because the hoops that need to go in them are relatively big compared to the actual size of the sleeve. So, this doesn't normally fit in a sleeve, and what you would have to do is break the seam so that you can put this in there and then fit that into or around the arm of the machine. That way, you're not overly stretching it. The hoop doesn't come loose and it messes up. I've done this. I've trial and error. I say trial and error, but I've tried doing this with other sleeves and not actually getting rid of the seam, and it stretched the design, offsetting like certain stitches. So the inner filling of the stitch would be full, but then the perimeter would be off because it's shifted because it never got set properly. So we're going to be going through that. I'm going to show you how that process is. And some people are always asking, what's the process? Like, what's the behind the scenes? Like, how do you actually get these things done? And I'm like, all right, well, I'll show you. So that's one of the lucky videos where you're going to get to see that. I got my stabilizer papers. Like I said, these are small. So we're going to be using two different types of hoops. We're going to use our five, make sure I got it right. Our 5.5 mighty hoop. So this is a complete square 5.5 all the way around, and our 4.25 hoop, which is about an inch and a quarter smaller. This is going to be going over the sleeve part, and these are going to be going over the chest part. Both of them use about the same size stabilizer paper. I'll probably cut one of these into half used for the 4.25 because we like conserving our resources and not wasting. So yeah, that's what that's going to look like. Let's actually move on over and I'll show you exactly what it looks like when I start snipping away at the seams. So we have our hoop master. We have our hoop master attachment for 5 by 5, 5.5 hoops. We have our 5.5 hoop and our stabilizer, and we're just going to get this first sweater hoodie lined up. Everybody else, you got a C minus or higher after it's on. You will vote it to make grades before the semester's over. I'm just making more fun. Please stand up if your last name is Morganson, McKellen, Wood, Aston, Lee, and Brown.
One man beats sound like tragic.
All right. Oh, that camera's close. Back it up. Back it up. All right. So we put the logo on the front, put the year on the front, but this is the inside out because we need to be inside out so we can rip off this inside seam. You see that? That's got to go. We gotta get rid of that. All right. Then we're gonna hoop it and we're gonna digitize it, or not digitize it. Then we're gonna sew it again. So yeah, this process isn't the most fun, but it needs to be done. So what I have to do is break this seam. As you can see, I have my seam ripper and I'm just going to go into the threads. It doesn't matter if it frays a little bit. I'm going to go into the threads and just start ripping this one out. It's not really hard to do, but it is very tedious. So you don't want to rush this process. You don't want to fray anything too much. You don't want to cause any like significant damage. But this is two different stitches that are holding the sleeve together, and I'm going to make sure that it gets done right because I have to go up maybe about 7 or 8 inches so that I can actually fit this hoop in comfortably, and then from there then I'll be able to put it onto the machine, put the arm around the machine, and then start the embroidery process. All right, so the sleeve has been now unseamed, so it's open, and I'll be able to put this hoop in and then put that hoop onto the machine and actually put in the last part. I do this for 4 of these things, so trust the process. So as you can see, I have to maneuver the sleeve around the arm now that I've made the seam, because now this arm will move a little bit more freely when it's going left and right and moving the fabric around it. That way the fabric underneath doesn't get stitched onto, and I need to put this piece of plastic here so I can make sure that the first point of contact is actually going to be this plastic to actually maneuver the threads that the sleeve have, so there's no over punctures. This should be a pretty simple process, so enjoy. Okay, now that the sleeve is done, all we have to do is sew it back together, and this is one of those skill sets that you kind of pick up on as orders come in and people want some more specific detail to their clothing. And with this sleeve, you don't want to just leave that hole open, so I got to sew it back together. I have pins holding these pieces of fabric together so I can get it as straight as possible, and on a few of these kind of mess up. I stitch a little bit too far down before I actually pull the pin out. I need to pull the pin out a little bit sooner, but I get it all together, and as you can see, the seam looks great. From the other side, you can't tell. I give it a little tug off camera just to see if it's holding tight, and I finished up the seam. Now I'm hoping that the people who buy it love it. Actually, I know they're gonna love it. So thanks for that part. On to the next. All right, so we have now finished it. If you remember, it was looking like that, what I was showing before, and now we have the finished product. We have the anniversary date and the sleeve with the initial and the heart. So yeah, cute stuff, cute stuff. His and hers. and the sleeve with the initial. And see that seam? You can't even tell it's gone. You can't tell that it was altered from top to bottom. Sewed it back in. This is a skill that I've picked up since being in this business, and yeah, just another way to essentially gain some skills, um, create more custom stuff, and I'm really looking forward to these guys enjoying this. So I'm gonna wrap it up, keep it short and simple. Like, share, subscribe. Check out my social media on Instagram. I'll put it down here for you guys to view. Check out my TikTok while it's still around. And yeah, if you want to see more like this, just let me know. Catch you guys in the next one.